There's a belief that there are no more original ideas. Everything is just a variant or a spinoff of something else. And I think that does kind of sort of hold true for the world of wrestling. When one idea becomes big, other promoters do tend to see it and be like, okay, how can we do that but with a twist? Or how can we do that the exact same way? And sometimes that works, and I think it would work in the modern day. There are some concepts, some ideas, some factions that I think would be really good to bring back into a modern WWE. So I'm going to go over a couple of those today. So these are 5 concepts or ideas that I think should be brought back in a modern WWE. I'm going to start off with one that has been talked about recently, and it is a revival of the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen, of course, the legendary group led by Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham was a horseman at one point, Ole Anderson was a horseman at one point, guys like Lex Luger, Sting, Sid, Dean Malenko, R.I.P. Steve Mongo McMichael. There have been a bunch of Four Horsemen over the years. Some have been worthy of the Horseman title, like a Barry Windham, like a Lex Luger. Some have not, like a Paul Roma. But the Four Horsemen itself, I think it should be brought back. It's similar to Legacy or Evolution that WWE brought back, and I think if they were to do it, they would just use those names. But you have the IP, you have the name The Four Horsemen. Why not bring them back as a group? I would elect to have Cody Rhodes lead the Four Horsemen. He fits the bill the most as the new modern day Ric Flair. If you're going to have a modern day Four Horsemen, you kind of need a modern day JJ Dillon. And unless Robert Stone steps up and gets called up to the main roster, I think he would be good as a modern Dillon. It would be Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes would link up and they would form the foundation of a new Four Horsemen. Or since Paul Heyman's involved, a new Dangerous Alliance. But either way, Cody would be the lead. I think you could bring in a tag team like the Creed brothers. I think they would work out well with Cody, and they could be your modern day Tully and Arn. And then you can have a wild card as that mid card guy, the one who could possibly slide into the main event. I think Trick Williams would be fantastic in that spot. I think Carmelo Hayes would be fantastic in that spot. But the perfect person, and it just came to me right now, Ethan Page. So a faction with Cody, Ethan Page, the Creed brothers led by Paul Heyman. You could maybe bring in a new modern day Baby Doll, like how Baby Doll was with the original Horsemen. You could bring in a female wrestler to be kind of the girl, the Paul Heyman girl of the group. You can have just Kiana James. I think her vibe would fit with the Horsemen well. She's kind of a business suit lady, and I think that would work well. You could do someone, again, another wild card. You could have a Jordan Grace, kind of change up her style a little bit. But either way, no matter who you put in the group, I think Cody would be the must have in this group. Cody Rhodes would be the must-have superstar in this group. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Bring back the Four Horsemen. The next concept that I think would be cool to be brought back would be a tag team that features one main event level guy plus another. We've seen this over the years, and sometimes they've won tag team titles, sometimes they haven't. For example, the pair that you see on screen, Shawn Michaels and John Cena. They once held the World Tag Team titles. They once main evented a WrestleMania against each other, by the way, with the World Tag titles on the line, which to me, very cool. This was also 2 years after Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero as tag team champions wrestled each other at WrestleMania. So yeah, just a little neat factoid for you. But I would love another modern day version of Cena and Shawn Michaels teaming up for the tag titles, or Cena and John Cena. All of his tag titles are with just random one-off people. He run random with David Otunga, The Miz, Batista. He did it when they were feuding, and Shawn Michaels and The Miz. It's weird, but that's one version of that. The two-man power trip is probably the most famous modern version of that. Of course, you have the Mega Powers, you have the Rock and Sock Connection, where you have these two main event level guys tag teaming up. The Insiders, DDP and Kevin Nash and WCW is another example. I think this would be a fun concept to bring back. It was something that I was kind of hoping that we would see with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, or Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Like, it's just the potential for story is just so fun, where you have these two high caliber main event top over guys paired up and they're doing things together. I think that's fun. We're going to get something. It's not quite main event, but we're going to get something similar, I have a feeling, with Solo Sikoa and LA Knight relatively soon. But yeah, have two high-level guys pair up, win the tag titles, kind of refresh the tag title scene a little bit, gives those two guys a nice bump, a nice elevation. And again, the stories for later that you can spin off of are just the potential is good for me. Next up, it is a match concept that I want brought back. It is the Championship Scramble. If you remember back at Unforgiven 2008, the WWE introduced this new concept to their fans. It was the Championship Scramble. The match had a 20-minute time limit. There were 5 competitors, and during that 20 minutes, if you got a pinfall or a submission, you were the WWE champion for that moment. And whoever was WWE champion at the end of the match would be the official WWE champion. There was one for the ECW title that show, one for the World Heavyweight title, and the one that you're seeing is for the WWE title. And the lineup was pretty good. You had MVP, you had Shelton Benjamin, who was US champ at the time. You had the Brian Kendrick, you had Jeff Hardy, you had Triple H. Now, looking at this match in particular, it is super obvious. There were only 2 people who had any shot at winning, and that was Jeff Hardy and Triple H. So it did kind of telegraph the ending a little bit, that, okay, we're down to just 2 guys. But you can have some fun moments during the match. Like this one, during the match, the Brian Kendrick actually won the WWE, won and got a pinfall. So for a little bit in that timeline, there was a possibility that the Brian Kendrick could be WWE champion. Now, because of how things shook out with Brian Kendrick in the end, kind of good WWE didn't do that, but still, it's just a fun match. And I think it creates a lot of intrigue. You can spin off feuds, you can spin off matches from that with either the guy who won or to some of the lower guys who didn't win. It's a good concept that WWE doesn't use. The next concept that I want brought back, and it's not necessarily brought back, I want it to get its prestige back. I want it to get its block back. I want it to get its corner back. I want a return of the traditional Survivor Series matches. I miss those. Like, War Games is not going anywhere because I think it's a moneymaker for WWE. It's a huge incentive to go to a Survivor Series. The 2-cage, 2-ring setup, it looks impressive. It's another way to pay tribute to Dusty Rhodes, somebody who has become just a hallowed, sanctified figure in WWE in the years since he died, and especially since Cody Rhodes came back into the company. I get it. You want to honor Dusty, you want to do the War Games, but for me, we need a break. Like WWE, they put on 2 War Games matches every year, one for the men, one for the women. AEW, they put on 2 War Games matches now, one for the men, one for the women. Sorry, blood and guts matches. And it's like, bruh, seeing this 4 times from the 2 major companies and the matches happen so close together. That's the other thing. Like, I think AEW is probably gearing up to do blood and guts pretty soon. And WWE, we're starting to get the slow build up towards War Games. And we need a break. I think a year break, maybe 2 years, quite honestly, maybe 3. Get a new faction to be built up. Not the Judgment Day, not the Bloodline again, because it looks like it's going to be the Bloodline, which will be the 3rd Bloodline-centered War Games that we had. We had, of course, the first year in 2022 made perfect sense. Bloodline are your biggest story. They're your biggest faction. They have to be in the match. They're the heels. Makes perfect sense. 2023, they take a break from the Bloodline, but Sammy and Jey Uso are in it, so technically Bloodline still represented. The following year, 2024, we had the Bloodline versus Bloodline Civil War Games match. That was fun. That would have been a perfect time to be like, okay, let's put the War Games on ice for a little bit and do a new concept. Nope. Last year, brought it back. You had The Vision as the centered group versus a mix of the Bloodline, Roman, Jay, and Jimmy, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes. And it's just like, we struggling at this point. Like we're kind of struggling at this point. And that's nothing to say of the women who rarely, if ever, get properly built up as a story. I think this year they may do that because I think Judgment Day, they're going to be the centered group for the women, but rarely do the women have the same level of attention or build for the War Games as the men. And to me, it's just, we kind of need both to rest. I think with the traditional Survivor Series match, you can have the same storytelling elements. You can do different elements of somebody being in a 5-on-1 situation, a 4-on-1 situation. Like, you have those story elements. And there have been great Survivor Series matches that have been showcases for people. Who could forget Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton in the 2003 Survivor Series match where it was Stone Cold's job on the line? You had Team Bischoff versus Team Austin. It came down to Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton. Shawn Michaels gave an all-time performance. Randy Orton, he got to be elevated. It worked. You have the 2005 match where it was Raw versus SmackDown, and that felt like a big deal. Randy Orton, of course, got another chance to shine. So did Shawn Michaels, being the sole survivor. That worked. And you have the one that you're seeing on screen, the Alliance versus Team WWF, winner take all. Huge stakes on the line. Like, the stories can work. I think War Games needs to be reserved just for when you have a super strong faction and you need that kind of big blow-off match for them. So for me, bring back the traditional Survivor Series matches. And last but certainly not least, the final concept, the final idea that I would love to be brought back is an old head faction, an old head stable. Back in WCW times in the year 2000, they did the New Blood versus Millionaire Clubs storyline. Now, WCW botched it because it was the year 2008. That was just, it was the style at the time. They were going to fuck something up. WCW had the Millionaires Club as the baby faces. These are the old, established, money-drawn guys versus the new up-and-comers wanting their opportunity. And WCW framed it the wrong way, where the old guys became the heroes and the young guys were the heels. And I don't think that was the right way to play it. I think you want it where people want to see the new guys step up and get those spots, even if they do still love the older, established talent. And that didn't happen with the New Blood and with the Millionaires Club. It did happen when this concept happened again in TNA, where it was the TNA Frontline versus the Main Event Mafia. You had Kurt Angle, Sting, Scott Steiner, Booker T, Kevin Nash, all former world champions in the same group. All held the big gold belt too, which is also crazy, but all of them are former world champions. They were established and they were assholes, and that made the story fun. Scott Steiner was fun in it. The concept was fun. You had this young group of heroes led by AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. I think the Guns were a part of it for a while, but then they kind of fell off. Like, you had people get in a better position, but it was TNA, and as with WCW, something was going to go wrong. The concept eventually, it spiraled out, and unfortunately the Main Event Mafia ended. But I think it is a good idea, having a top level group of guys assemble and be like, hey, we are going to hard gatekeep this main event scene, and having good, young, strong baby faces step up to the plate and challenge them. That to me seems like an easy fix. And I don't know why we don't do that. I'm not sure why we haven't done that in a while. You have the perfect 4-5 guys to establish this with. Roman clearly would be in this modern group. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes. Now, the problem there is that they appear to be a little skittish on Cody becoming a heel, but I think this would be a good group. And you've heard recently guys reference, hey, I'm tired, we're tired of the same guys. Like Damian Priest has mentioned this. The same guys are in the main event scene. You could add in a Gunther if you want to, but you have your core 4 there that you can have people step up. And you have Braun Breaker, who can, go babyface and challenge that group. You have Carmelo Hayes, Young Gun, a Carmelo Hayes CM Punk match, that would cook. A Carmelo Hayes Seth Rollins match, that would really be good. You have a Trick Williams. You have Obafemi. You have the perfect face to go up against a heel group like this and knock them down and just really establish that, no, the future is now. I think WWE should do that, and I think it would work out pretty well. Those are just a few of the ideas that I think should be brought back by WWE, but I want to hear from you all. Give me in the comments your ideas, your concepts that you would love to see brought back by the WWE and established. Like, hey, maybe you want to see WWE steal the King of the Mountain match from TNA. Who knows? But let me know in the comments what you would want WWE to do. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Be on the lookout for more videos, and I'll catch y'all another time.